Sahai, who is the DG and CEO of Federation of Indian Export Organization, joining us. Very good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us in ET Now. And yes, it's just initial stages, no doubt. The WHO has actually declared this as a global public health emergency for the second time in 2 years. But as the Indian trade industry, what kind of measures are being taken in case if this blows out of proportion?
In fact, India is extremely cautious and watchful. The health minister has already convened a meeting. We have seen a meeting has been convened by the PMO, though of course there has been no cases which has been detected. So I think the idea is to sensitize the authorities at the airport, seaport, and land customs to identify, detect any case if it is there. And probably we have to augment the testing capabilities also into the country so that if there are any case which can be detected. And as told by the doctors earlier, this is not as infectious as COVID. Trade industry is concerned because I think if it is spread, probably the first casualty will be travel and trade. And at this point of time, when we are already facing huge headwinds and we are facing disruption like Ukraine-Russia war and conflict between Hamas and Israel and Red Sea crisis, we can ill afford any such measures which if it comes into the force. So we are extremely cautious. We are concerned, but of course we are not at all worried about that the situation will spread like anything and there may be disruption in the trade as of now.
Right. Sir, since you've spoken of the fact that you're not expecting any disruption in trade or so as of now, because since most of the cases are actually limited to the Central Asia or the Africa region, but you did allude to the fact that what is happening globally as well, when you talk about the geopolitical tensions that is arising, how has that impacted? Has it had any impact on India's trade?
In fact, geopolitical situation has impacted India's exports so far as the bottom lines of the companies are concerned. If you're looking into the top lines of the companies, they are not concerned. And one of the fallout of the impact on the bottom line is that a lot of sectors where the domestic market is providing much better profitabilities, some of the companies have moved to the domestic market. And probably that is something which is also a factor why India's exports have pulled down in recent trend. We were talking to a number of exporters and they feel at this point of time, the domestic market for them is much more lucrative as compared to exports, because if the freight has gone exponentially high, this has impacted the bottom lines of the companies and probably they are moving towards the domestic market. But this is not something which is applicable to all sectors, but definitely in some sector it is happening.
Before we let you go, we do understand that initially there were some disruptions in trade post the Bangladesh issue. Do you think, or as per your understanding, has those issues normalized right now?
To a large extent, situation is now normal, though of course Bangladesh has put some restriction on cash withdrawal. Probably that is affecting the operations of the manufacturing companies there. And with the operation being impacted to some extent, the demand for the raw material textile which may be supplied from India is little impacted. And many of the companies globally feel that probably the situation may not come to the normal very soon. They have placed some orders on the Indian company, more so on the companies which have operations both in India and Bangladesh. But in the times to come, I think situation will normalize because it's in the interest of the Bangladesh that their exports are back on track. That is the main segment of their economy.
Right, absolutely, and hope the situation settles down much better. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on ET Now to talk about the trade, India's trade, and what the scenario is right now. For now, what Mr. Sahai is also of the view, there's nothing to be too perturbed about. But on that note, we are...
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.